When I was a young believer, new in my faith journey, I found myself drawn to more mature believers who I perceived to have a really deep prayer life. I want to be like that, was my heart's cry. I determined that if I wanted to be like people who prayed, I should do what prayer people do: pray. So I would sit down for prayer time, journal open, pens ready, prayer list prepared, and quickly become discouraged because my heart and mind started wandering almost instantly. These times are wasted, I would lament. I'm just not a prayer person. I was supposed to be praying for a friend's breakthrough, and I was thinking about tacos. If I was totally honest, I had about 30 seconds of prayer in me before I moved on to the next thing. I didn't see a way to bridge from where I was, almost prayerless, to where I wanted to be, prayerful. But God is really faithful, and He saw my budding desire for prayer. He began to surround me with people who would disciple me in using the prayers of the Bible to strengthen my prayer life. It has been one of the greatest gifts I've ever received. When I use the Bible as language for prayer, I have a place to come back to when my mind inevitably wanders away. Praying the scriptures keeps me focused and moving forward. While you've been reading your way through the Road to Emmaus journey, perhaps you've noticed that the authors of the epistles actually penned some of their own prayers and prayer requests into the letters. I can't think of better fuel for the fire of personal prayer than the actual prayers of the apostles from the pages of Scripture. If you find yourself in a place like I was, wanting to pray more but really unsure how, 2 Thessalonians 3 is a great launching point. In this chapter, Paul lists some prayer requests for himself and his ministry. If 2 Thessalonians were Paul's ministry update letter, chapter 3 is the prayer request section. I think we can agree that if Paul, arguably the greatest missionary who ever lived, thought these requests were the ones to go before the throne on his behalf, we can take them and pray them with confidence. But how? Here are some ways that the words of this specific passage can be used for intercession. This is, of course, not exhaustive. There are many other ways to pray these words. Pray for the gospel to go forth with power in our city from verse 1, that the word of the Lord would run swiftly and be glorified, just as it is with you. Pray for deliverance from wicked leaders and unjust laws from verse 2, that we may be delivered from unreasonable and wicked men. Pray for your missionaries from verse 3, to be strengthened and protected from the evil one. Pray that your Christian friends or church family from verse 4, that they would do and continue to do all that the Bible commands. Pray for your husband or your children from verse 5, that the Lord would direct their hearts into the love of God and the steadfastness of the Messiah. I hope this helps you see how using the very words of Scripture can both anchor and bolster your prayer life. I found it much easier and more enjoyable to pray when I'm not fumbling with what to say or how to say it. When my mind drifts to everything else I have to do or want to do, I can rein it back in by repeating the very words of Scripture back to God. If you've never tried praying this way, today's reading offers an invitation to give it a try. I leave you with Paul's blessing from 2 Thessalonians 3:16. Now may the Lord of peace continually grant you peace in every circumstance. The Lord be with you all.